Sylvester Stallone has a truly interesting, complicated knockout of a BaZi Chinese Astrology chart, and I'm here to unpack it all with you today. Welcome. It's Lydia Nitya with Karma Chameleon, the channel for all things feng shui and BaZi Chinese Astrology. Often I like to read the charts of celebrities so that we can better understand our own charts and our own lives. Welcome. So I have to say, looking at Slys Chart, I won't read a chart to you if it doesn't have a story. This chart has a big story. And I am amazed, to be honest, that he is still on this planet because so much has happened to this guy in his life. I was also shocked to see that this guy's in his mid-70s. How did that happen, right? So I'm going to show you, because one of you fabulous subscribers, and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a single video that I post. These are fun, they're interesting, and you can learn so much. Let me just pause here before I show you his chart and let you know that BaZi Chinese Astrology is not an astrology that you hear a whole lot about. And it's not near, I don't think, as known as Western astrology. It focuses on the 5 elements in relation to the 12 zodiac animals. And for me, I find it a lot easier to apply to my day-to-day life. And I feel like the charts that I write are far more user-friendly for understanding how to navigate my month, my year, my life in a way that I can circumvent the worst things and benefit from the best, right? So if you have questions about BaZi Chinese Astrology, let me know. Comments and questions always welcome. All right, so here we have Sylvester Stallone's chart. Okay. And of course, you can see all of my notes. I'm showing it to you the way that I usually write a chart for someone. And if you're interested in the programs that I use, the books, the resources that I have used, just let me know. Happy to give you that info. So we break it down. We've got the year. That's overarching who you are. We've got the month, the day, the hour. You can even see the conception. It's kind of, I've never used that, but that is there. And your life pillar, which for him, Slys Stallone, is very interesting. And this comes up. Your life pillar can give the element, an animal, that really shifts the way that your chart is going to read, which is going to shift your life. So we've seen that his year is a Yang Fire Dog, the month of Yang Wood Horse, the day of Yin Metal Snake, and the hour of Yin Fire Rooster. Now, right off the bat, you can see, just looking at this chart, how much fire he has. Look up there. 55%, give or take, right? And I wanted to mention his son, who died sadly, suddenly in his 30s, was also born on the day of the snake and also had an excessively big amount of fire in his chart. I did look it up. And it's interesting because when an element in your chart is either really inflated or very weak, it can affect the health of the organ or that part of your body. Almost like, a heart attack can be like an overwhelm of fire or an underwhelm. There's not enough to sustain the heart. So we break it down. One of the things that we see with his chart, Sly has a chart that qualifies, and there's only 10% of all astrology matches this. In order to qualify as a dominant fire chart, because you can see your day This is your element. This is who he is. He is the snake. And snakes are smart. They're intuitive, right? They're also very sensual, sexy. That's where his sex appeal comes from. And they tend to be very in their head, very introspective. So we see that he is a metal person. What element dominates him is fire. Now, the opposite element, the enemy of fire, is that which puts it out, which is water. There is no water in his chart. That's condition number 1 for having a dominant chart. Condition number 2, a full trio. Does he have it? Ho-ho. This is so cool when you see this. All right. So to get the fire trio, to make this a true dominant fire chart, we have the horse and the dog. The only thing missing is the tiger, which shows up in his life pillar. So the life pillar is giving him the final piece in creating that fire dominant chart. Now, I've talked about what are the conditions upon which a person dies or has a horrible disease. And it's often when the pattern, which for him is fire, is broken, or the day master gives up. His day master element, again, is metal, balanced at about 23%. What supports him, earth, about 16%. Again, no water, and very weak wood, 10%. Water is the enemy. You don't want to see it in the chart. So when we move through his luck cycles, what do we find? I have circled all the places where fire shows up. Fire consistently is there through his life. His first luck cycle started at his birth. Why? Have you heard the crazy story of how Slys Stallone was born? His mom taking the bus every day when she was pregnant. She goes into labor. They used 2 forceps, terrifying, to deliver him, causing paralysis in his mouth, the side of his face. So that's why he has that snarl. That's why he's got that way that he talks. So when we look at this is a full fire trio when the sheep shows up. So it's like at his birth, we now have a seasonal and a traditional full fire trio. At this point, his whole chart is centered on one element. That is beyond unique, okay? And during this time, he was in and out of foster care. I'm not exactly sure all the weirdness of this period of his life. But this period of his life was dominated by his relationship with his father, which we know was very troubled. His dad was very hard on him, total hardcore. And this was also a time of schooling and all of those things. But as we move through his life, ages 10 to 19, there's yang fire. But at this point in his life, okay, from ages 10 to 19, this is when he was into polo. This was when he was getting himself into athletics, right? And in some ways, I think that was in response to his father's bullying. Here we have the monkey meets the rooster of his hour, the dog of his year, and creates a full metal trio. A full metal trio. This is unique. I've never seen this before. Because his metal is balanced. This is interesting. That full metal trio means that it shifts away from being a fire dominant chart. with that bringing in of the metal trio breaks the pattern. The only reason that he's still on this planet is that metal trio supports his day master. And in this period, the monkey with his life pillar, the tiger, and his snake self are under that full punishment. At a direct hit to his day master means that his life force was really on the edge from ages 10 to 19. So then we come to a Yin Fire Rooster, which mirrors his career. And now the chart shifts back to being a fire dominant. Where Rocky shows up is interesting because that was Yang Fire Dog or Yang Earth Dog, which means there's all this energy of earth pulling at his dominant fire to support his metal self. And I've said this before, to have success and longevity in your career, you've got to have the dominant element, your supporting element, very strong flow to you, okay? Your dominant element is what is your career. And you've got to have career with support coming into your day element, okay? Then, this is where we get into Rambo, 1986 is where we're at. This is Yin Earth Pig. What does the pig do? The pig is the enemy of the snake. So this brings in water and challenges the pattern. Well, we don't like to see this at all. And so this is where we start to see he's doing a lot of these physical, really intense movies. And as there is a lot of wealth and a lot of success with everything going on in his chart, there is this changeability, shifting sands with all of it. And the thing is, it's kind of like something annoying, like a mosquito in your ear when you're trying to sleep. So this period of his life, there is this potential threat that's just kind of lingering out there, like a hidden stress, if you will. We come into 1996, and again, the pattern is challenged because we've got water, and water is the enemy. This is during 1996, and this is around the time that his career really slumped. And there were a lot of dud movies that he made. So this is a yang metal rat. You don't want to see the water. So then we come into where is he next is 2006, when his career starts to spike back up. He starts to have more successes. He's doing other things other than just acting now too. And this is the period where again, second time in his life that there is a full metal trio. This is like no chart I have ever seen, and I've done hundreds, if not thousands, of astrology charts in the last 20 years. This is the ox, and the yin metal ox, the yin metal speaking directly to himself, is now coming in. Snake, rooster, ox form a full metal trio, breaking his fire pattern. Fire dominance broken. And the second time in his life that full metal trio supports his day master, keeping him alive, keeping him on this planet. Honestly, if it were a water trio, I would have said that's it. Because at that point, the enemy wins and the day master element of metal gives way. to the full water trio. And that's the end right there. That didn't happen. In that period, we also have the punishment, a semi-punishment, small punishment with the ox and his dog, suggesting all kinds of stresses and issues surrounding his family. This could suggest divorce or fidelity issues, all that stuff. Then we come to where he is now. His life right now, from 2016 to 2026, is mostly mirroring his life pillar of the tiger. This is bringing in a lot of wealth, focus on his daughters, on the archetype of the mother. It can be your own mother. It can be the mother of your children. And this is a time of great change for him. There's a lot going on, known and unknown, that is happening for him in this time. But the problem with right now, he's in a yang water tiger. The wood of the tiger is helpful because it gives a connection between water and fire, almost protecting the fire. And because that water is the enemy, we don't want to see it. In 2026, he's going to shift into a yin water rabbit. And I see a lot of real hard breaks when it comes to his career during that time. And again, it's like when you look at a chart like this, 2016, right, is when this like luck cycle started. So when I think of 2020, year of the rat, very watery year, that would have been a hard year for him, because when you have your luck cycle and the year both working against your chart, it can be very hard. So if you are going through your own what the hell kind of a year with this rabbit, I know a lot of people are having a hard year. I've had a really tough year. You've got to kind of look at what are the components at play. One of the reasons I love doing these BaZi astrology charts for you, my friend, is to help you navigate through your life in a way that it makes more sense. You ever wake up in the morning and go, life got weird? When did it get weird? Has it always been weird? When did it all start sliding sideways? When did I lose my grip? And that's what I unpack when I look at your chart. So you can go to karmachameleon.com and order an hour reading with me on Zoom, or I also do a written chart, which I highly recommend. It's a little more expensive, but so well worth it, because then you have something tangible that you can look at and reflect back on. I look at my chart all the time. And then right now I'm doing New Year updates, looking at the year of the dragon coming up. So this is I just wanted to unpack this unusual chart of Slys Stallone. Truly fascinating. This guy is an artist. He is smart as a whip. He's very organized, a strong planner, somebody who really has a good, strong construction of his life. He's also somebody that is surprising, a bit of a dreamer, but being born in the year of the dog, this is a fighter. This is a bulldog. This is like, I am in for the fight and I am here for justice. The snake perfectly dovetails in with that by saying yes, and I'm going to bring the intuition, the inner sense, the knowing of how to do that. Then having the rooster in his hour is, I want to be seen. And the guy has style. We see that. That's a little snaky thing too. And the rooster flashes that. Oh yeah, put on a great suit. Let's strut our stuff. Let's do our thing. Let's come out blazing. So much fun. So anyway, again, questions, comments, welcome. Such a truly unique, bizarre chart. And I wish him all the success. I know currently there is the documentary Sly on Netflix, so I'm certainly going to check it out now that I've seen his chart. And I wish you all well, and I'll see you soon.